Welcome, everybody, to Ted Investigates Live. We're so happy that you're here with us on this Friday. I know I'm doing this kind of really early. I've been fighting a little bit of a cold, but we're back in action. We're ready to talk about this Delphi case and why it is so important to go over the right facts. Okay, first and foremost, I want to get a 5K race going. If the city of Delphi lets me, a free Richard Allen, we're going to be able to get all of the actual T-shirts that say free Richard Allen, and we're going to have posts on them. Okay, so we're going to have live posts of free Richard Allen. So I think that's going to be a very wonderful and awesome thing that we're doing, and I'm super excited because I know it's going to bring a lot of money to the to helping Richard Allen. We're all going to do a 5K race. Some of us can do a jog, but I'm trying to call the city of Delphi right now. They may not let us, so we might have to do another town and then end at the courthouse in Delphi or end at the courthouse at the CVS. But that's what we're really excited, and that's what I'm really been pushing at right now. So thanks so much for everyone joining with me. Today we're going to take a deep dive over all of the suspects. I'm talking a really granular approach on who are the key suspects in this case. And right now I'm going to read, to get us up to speed at the very beginning, the 4 key witnesses, okay? Let's see if we can put this up. Let me see if I can show the slide. Okay, here is the slide. Okay, so we're going to go right to the beginning, okay? Okay, so we're going right to the beginning of the story, and then we're going to loop it in to all the suspects, the witnesses, all the people that saw the case. Okay, this is the man. Okay, so they all say they saw the Delphi killer, but their stories just don't match. They all say the killer. Again, the stories don't match. On an unusually warm February 13th in 2017, several people were out enjoying the weather on the Monad High Bridge, Indiana. Among them were a few group of teenagers, including Rayleigh Voorhees, Brianne Wilbur. They were out around noon just hiking and taking pictures. During their walk, they passed a man that struck them as odd. Both would later say in court that this man was bizarrely overdressed, was in nearly 50-degree weather, wearing layers, a hood, a hat, a heavy coat. He wasn't friendly. Rayleigh Voorhees testified that she even waved at him, but obviously we all know this. He just glared. Brianne Wilbur said he gave her bad vibes and weird vibes. Another witness that day, Betsy Blair, also saw a man on the bridge platform standing about 50 feet away from her. When police finally released the bridge guy photo from Libby German's phone, these witnesses had a moment of pure chilling recognition. Voorhees said in the court that this was the man I waved at, and he didn't wave back. But all their stories were very, very, very inconsistent. And again, as time go by, stories can be extremely inconsistent. Okay, so we are going to read. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit here. Put this together for everybody. Okay, witnesses on the Delphi trails, including young people and adults, described the bridge guy as a larger, looking muscular, and in his 20s or 30s. Okay, now that could have been Logan, right? Some witnesses specifically mentioned him being taller, with one witness noting he was taller than 5'7" in height. These descriptions, including notes of puffy hair, generally deferred from the appearance of convicted Richard Allen. Hey, good afternoon, Mimi Tanya. Key details regarding the witness testimonies includes physical description. Witnesses, let me see if I can change just a little bit. Okay, so witnesses' testimonies include physical description. He was a muscular man, 20s and 30s, sometimes noted he had brown, poofy hair. His height, one witness, Voorhees, described the man as taller than her, 5'7", actually came up to her way larger than the armpit, okay? The estimated the height to be around 5'10". Now, Richard Allen was a very small man. He's 5'4", very little guy, okay? Tiny, okay? I'm 5'10". A person who's 5'4" is small. I mean, that's like Britney Spears height, okay? If not shorter. Clothing. Witness reported the man wearing a blue jacket, black jacket, blue pants, in all black clothing, such as a sweatshirt, a jacket, jeans, boots. At one point, they were talking about khaki clothing as well. Comparison to the suspect, the description provided did not match the physical appearance whatsoever of Bridge Guy, okay, who is not tall or muscular, definitely not muscular. And he was in his mid-40s, and he was short and kind of wide. Okay, we have Steve Curry. Even Richard Allen could tell that Bridge Guy was wearing a Carhartt jacket. It's obvious, a nylon windbreaker. So Bridge Guy didn't have a Carhartt jacket until 2022 is when he purchased his blue Carhartt jacket, and they had a receipt of that. Okay, so as we move on, he did not have a Carhartt jacket post 2022, and that whole neighborhood in rural America has Carhartt jackets. Okay, so Bridge Guy, Liberty's video. Good afternoon here. Libby's video captured a grainy image of a man who ordered the girls to go down the hill. Indiana State Police enhanced the video. Okay, so when they actually had the enhancement of the video, the first video looked like he was kind of short and round, right, and chubby. And I at one point thought it was Richard Allen before I took a deep dive in the case. But when you actually get the proper height of the video and the uncompressed version, it's definitely a larger man at 6 feet tall. And the enhancement could not improve the quality of the image. It's clear that Bridge Guy was wearing a light blue jeans and blue jacket, but one witness testified she saw whom she believed to be Bridge Guy covered in mud and blood and wearing a tan jacket. So does this mean someone else was part of this case? Okay. Here we go. Over to the next slide. Witnesses testified they believe Bridge Guy to be at least 6 feet tall, young, fit, poofy hair. Allen's attorney pointed out in closing that Allen is 5 feet 5 inches tall. Indiana State Police Lieutenant Jerry Holman testified that it would cost $10,000 to do an accurate height analysis of Bridge Guy from the video. Well, if someone had 130 years on the line, why wouldn't you do that? They chose to put the resources elsewhere, according to the testimony. Now, there's a lot of people online who have degrees and have mastered height and length of videos. And they said that the average person is 6 feet tall as Bridge Guy. So what they can do is they can do the background and they compare the different trees compared to the height, compared to how forward the photos are. I don't know how they can do it, but I saw a number of them break it down actually on video on YouTube, and these people are professionals. So just because it does cost $10,000 to do an accurate reading, there are people that know how to do that stuff, right? Because it's where we are on YouTube. It's a 300 million person community. Hey, what's up, Pinto Sack? My husband and I could have asked for Bridge Guy, bundled us. I wear a Carhartt. Yeah, exactly. Me too. I have a Carhartt. If I was walking on that bridge with my beanie, they would think I'm the Bridge Guy too. The only thing difference about me being the Bridge Guy is I don't think I would have been able to walk along that bridge with all the gaps in the railroad trestles. I think it would have to be someone that knows how to walk that path. Someone that's done that before. I would be crawling on my hands and knees. There's no way I would be able to walk. If you saw some of the gaps in some of my other videos, there are major, large gaps. Okay, so we're going to go to the next slide. Okay, the bullet. Indiana State Police Lab tests indicate the markings found on the bullet found at the scene near the girl's body match the ejector, extractor, and breech markings of Allen Sig Sauer 226, but the conclusion were made only by comparing the unfired bullet to shell casings later fired from Allen's pistol. So they can only compare it from actual fired round. Hey, what's up, Lita Joe? What is up? Make sure everybody's liking the channel, please. It helps with the algorithm. It's the easiest thing to do. Just keep liking. Okay, next up. A defense firearm expert, and we know Judge Gold wouldn't let the metal expert in, but the fire expert told jurors that they're comparing an unfired bullet cycled through a pistol to a fired bullet from a pistol will create, oops, I got to move my big head out of the way. Hold on. Cycled through a pistol to a fired bullet from a pistol will create different tool markings. Well, duh, skewing a conclusive result, calling it comparing apples to oranges. Again, I want to give everybody a shout out. I want you to know we're going to be doing a 5K this spring. I'm going to be getting T-shirts made that say Free Richard Allen. I'm going to be reaching out to the city of Delphi. We are going to be trying to do a 5K run and a 5K walk as well. And I don't know if the city of Delphi will let it, but I want to go all the way to the courthouse as the finish line. If they let us, which we can always do the town over. All right, so now let's talk about crazy Dr. Walla and her deep dive, her infatuation about the case, why she was so crazy and obsessed with the Delphi case. The big thing with Dr. Walla is she was an aficionado of the case. She always was obsessed with the case before meeting Richard Allen. She felt like she wanted to run the case. She eventually lost her license. When you are on case and you're on trial for your life and you have someone that's a super fan of the case, I mean, that is just ridiculous. Talking about Brad Weber's van, I 1000% believe she brought up the van to Richard Allen when he was going through psychosis. And that's just my opinion. You might have another opinion. And that van was time-stamped exactly the wrong time. So when you think about when Richard Allen got busted, right, when he supposedly saw Brad Weber's van, got scared, told the girls down the hill, chambered his gun, and tried to move them down the hill to eventually murder him, that was off by 20 minutes. Okay, so that doesn't even make sense. It was somebody, when he was going through psychosis, putting words in his mouth. And that's my firm belief. When you have that much of a window, about 20 minutes, Richard Allen doesn't know. He is eating his own feces. He's thinking he's God. There's nothing that ties him to any of that. Hey, Hydro-Quebec, what is up? Okay, now, Delphi, Indiana. Brad Weber arrived home 12 minutes after Delphi murder. Victim Libby German's iPhone stopped moving at 12:32 p.m. on February 17th. Carroll County prosecutor Nick McLeland allowed Weber to errantly testify he arrived home about 2:30 p.m. That evidence played an important role in the November 11, 2024 murder conviction against Richard Allen. His attorney argued in a motion to correct the errors filed this week. Yep, exactly. Great point. Great point. Walla watched idiots like Gray Hughes, which made her an idiot. She was obsessed with the Gray Hughes channel. She commented. She followed all that. Tom Webster's narrative. I don't know Tom Webster. I do know, yep. You made a great point, though. If you watch the timeline on Gray Hughes, he has it created to the state's narrative. And then Dr. Wallace saw that, and she got infatuated with Google Maps and the timeline, and that's what made her think that. I truly believe that. And Richard Gall's retired, or Judge Gall's retired. I think, thank you, Pinto Sack. I'm not sure about Tom Webster. If we're talking about the white guy with blonde hair, and he was talking to Baldwin's lawyer, I thought I've seen that, but I'm not exactly sure who that is, but I believe I do. I believe I know what you're talking about. Just give me 1 second, because we have all these different things that are popping up and I can't see anything. McLeland had the evidence, a home surveillance video that showed Weber's van driving onto a lone road that leads to his parents' house near. How do I get myself out of the screen again? There we go. McLeland had the evidence, a home surveillance video that showed Weber's van driving onto the lone road that leads up to his parents' house near the south side of the Monon High Bridge, from which Libby German and Abby Williams were abducted. A publicly available video shows Weber's van with a timestamp. It's the only van on that road for hours before and after the killings. Okay, now I put a little, so this is Walla. This is, I think, McLeland and some of the Dumb and Dumber people. Monica Walla, therapist at Westfield Prison, where Allen was held, treated Allen and wrote his confession during a time that psychiatrists testified Allen was experiencing psychotic breaks with reality and having trouble with his memory. Walla, a true crime fan, followed Delphi murders long before Allen arrived as a client. Yep, Gall's retirement can come soon enough, and she's having her daughter take her place, FYI. So during the therapy session, Walla wrote that Allen told her. Walla wrote that Allen, told her he saw a white van after abducting the teens, which led him to force the girls across Deer Creek to the North Banks. There he killed the two girls, according to the testimony. A 5'4" guy trying to go up against Libby and Abigail Williams, it would be pretty tough. McLeland said Libby's phone stopped moving at 2:32 p.m. and February 13th, and the state theory is that about the same time Allen killed the girls. Okay, so that's what we know. Okay, let me get myself out of this picture again. Okay, let me unhide this. Yeah, that means Gall could be the judge, or Rick gets a new trial. Exactly. In Walla's report, wait, is this the same one I just read? Hold on, I'm sorry, people. Okay. In Waller's report, one of Allen's confessions stated that Allen said he planned to sexually assault the girls until a white van drove past the girls. Okay, so let's break it down for a second. If you're ready to sexually assault somebody in a cool February, okay, you're 44 years old at the time, right? You're not some spring chicken at 20. Okay, it's cold outside. Okay, and I'm not saying you're not going to essay someone, but I'm saying a 44-year-old man, you're going to, I just find it highly unlikely to get turned on. I feel like Ron Logan's the one that's going to take you to his farmhouse where it's a little bit warmer and then perform a sexual act on you. I find it very challenging in that climate for a 44-year-old man to be turned on. And again, that's just a theory. That's just what I'm thinking, unless he's shooting up testosterone. Again, psychopaths and people like that can be turned on, but it was it was a warm February, but it still was cold enough where you're wearing many layers of jacket and just walking. If that's like the first thing on your mind, that's just another proof. Okay. So Libby's video of Bridge Guy was taken at 2:17 p.m. Libby's phone stopped moving at 2:32 p.m., suggesting she was dead. Weber's van, however, does not pass down the road on the end of the bridge until 2:44 p.m. This doesn't line up with the prosecution's timelines, the theories of the killing, the defense said. So it's 20 minutes delayed. So this whole thing was predicated around Richard Allen seeing the van, being scared, and forcing the girls down the hill and killing them. Okay? So because McLeland knew Weber's testimony was wrong, didn't correct his testimony for the jurors, and because it did not match the prosecution timeline, Andy Baldwin, Allen's attorney, asked Special Judge Francis Gull to either vacate the verdict or set a hearing to correct the errors. There are other reasons to vacate the verdict or set and correct errors, according to Monday's filing. Ron Logan's prison confession to the killings. The girls were found on Ron Logan's property, 1,200 to 1,400 feet away, okay, which was searched on March 17th, 2017, a little more than a month after the girls were murdered. If you've seen the photos, yeah, well, yep. I'm sorry. She did lose something. Dr. Wall, if you Google it, whether it's her license, she lost her ability to work, who can't go into IDOC or something. But so either way, she's a fan that was infatuated with the case. I think she should be held in that right there's a mistrial. Okay, so Ron Logan, had 1 month. 1 month, his house was a complete mess. Okay, and now I'm going to go into the Ron Logan theory. Ron Logan had an entire month to remodel his spotless bathroom, remove all the drains, okay? The drains from the sink when you're washing your hands with blood, the drains from the shower, remodel the bathroom. The bathroom looked like something out of Bath Fitters, a brand new tub overlay. His house looked like Hoarders. It was a complete mess, but yet he had basically what looked like a $15,000 bathroom upgrade. He removed all the plumbing out of the bathroom, out of the toilet, and out of the sinks. A little more than a month after the killing. So he had a month. He had 31 days to do this. FBI agents caught Logan in a lie because he called a relative in an effort to create an alibi for the time of the killing, according to the probable cause affidavit of the search warrant. So when you are making up an alibi before the finding of a crime, I think statistics say that's like 99% guilty. Okay. Okay, glad you're coming. Yep. We are also going to do a 5K run around Delphi, so free Richard Allen. So just make sure everybody is liking and sharing and going through all the comments. I'm going to throw the comments back on the stage here. Just give me 1 second. Okay. After the search, Logan, who died in January 2022, went to prison for parole violation. While there, he supposedly confessed to another inmate on May 15, 2017. That inmate in turn reported Logan's confession to the FBI Public Access Line Unit to report on the Delphi homicides. Reese Allen, and there's also another guy, I believe his name is Haas. His last name is Haas. both were saying stuff about Ron Logan. Had no reason to do it. He is doing 50 years for a drug deal because he did a drug deal within like 1,000 feet of a school, I believe, which is crazy. It was at his house. Logan confessed step by step of the killing, the two girls. The exhibit filed Monday states Logan told how he burned his clothes in a fire pit. Okay? He had a fire pit. How would Reese Ellen even know that? Where it was located, used box cutters. Okay? At the time, they didn't know. The box cutters were in the back pocket. Okay? The media didn't know how the girls were dead. I mean, heck, Richard Allen during interrogation said he didn't shoot anybody with a gun. And he struggled with one of the girls, and he thought he had drops of blood from his nose and ended up on his clothes. And that's why I firmly believe when they asked Ron Logan, are they going to find out it was you? Ron Logan responds, I don't think they'll think it's me, or to those type of words. And you can look that up. He said, no, I'm not sure. I don't think you're going to think it's me, or I don't think you're going to find out it's me, or some words like that. And I can find it. It's heavily taped. It's heavily online. Oh, good. Steve Curry, this is awesome. I'm definitely going to do this. Go on Google Earth. You can see where Ron Logan burned his clothes. That's exactly what we're going to do. We're moving into a studio and we're getting a new computer system and we're going to map this all on Google Earth. We've just been fighting with the landlord of the place, but that is an awesome, Steve. I'm actually going to take a screenshot and that's what I'm going to do tonight. Give me 1 second. I want to take a picture of this. Steve, you rock, man. I'm glad to see you're in part of the chat. Okay. Now let me undo this. Okay. And how do I get my ugly face off the screen so I can read this? Sorry, 1 second. Okay. Indiana. Okay, so the fire pit and where it was located, use box cutters. Oh, please like, share, and subscribe. Please like. If there's anything you can do, is like. I can't say it enough. I'm sorry. We have not been getting enough likes and subscribes, but likes are big because it helps with the algorithm. Okay, located, used box cutters and struggled with one of the girls and thought drops of blood from his nose ended up on her clothes. The inmate who also advised that Logan killed the other girl first. And he's a big dude and he was walking fine. He is someone that can move 200-pound Libby, okay? He is someone that can move around the bodies. Indiana State Police First Sergeant Hansard interviewed the inmate. The exhibit filed Monday has Hansard handwritten notes and also has a defense translation that's difficult to read notes, which we've read that on my channel. Okay, I can't see the notes again. Holy cow. Sorry, everyone. This is like trying to read because I got my face here. I got your comments there. Logan walked with the girls and told them he knew one of their dads. How do I move myself? Wait. Sorry, guys. I'm going to get this buttoned up one day. This StreamYard drives me nuts. Logan walked with the girls and told them he knew one of them. When the girls wanted to turn around, Logan grabbed the youngest girl, presumably Abby, according to the filing, and the youngest girl presumably added him to the shoulder and told him it's okay. Then that's the oldest girl, Libby, freaked out, according to the notes from the prisoner's recollection of the confession. Another thing during the confession, he mentioned the animals. And Court TV, I think it was Barbara McDonald, brought chills on her back when Ron Logan was asking her if she would like to see the horses, because that's another thing that Reese Davis said. So here, I'm going to write this down. Right now, you have the fire pit, okay? You have the fire pit. You have the box cutters, okay? You have come see my animals. Come see my horses. Now, you can tie the horses to Barbara McDonald, who spent about a month, I believe I have her name right, on Court TV, who he said, come see my horses. Okay, so I don't believe felons, right? I always think, okay, a felon's trying to get a reduced prison time. Okay, well, come see my horses. So you have very, very, very specific information. Very specific information. Okay, horses. Burn the clothes in a fire pit. How he killed them. And I know people will argue with me, but I don't think it was out at the time on how he killed them. Okay, you have box cutter. Okay, you have DNA all over the bodies. Now, you didn't have enough DNA to tie anyone to it, I don't think, but you had enough DNA to exclude people. Why wouldn't you have used the DNA to exclude Richard Allen? Does that make any sense? and you can look that up. You had enough SRT DNA to exclude Richard Allen. Yes, Hydro-Quebec, and on his land, and a false alibi. All right, so I'm going to write this down again because I like to create certain rings around people, and the more rings they have, the more obvious. Okay, so I'm going to write this down. Okay, and sorry, I hope I'm not boring anybody, but we have the name Ron Logan. Okay, so we put since you can't see my screen, I'm going to do check marks. Okay, like almost like how you do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you put a cross around 5. Okay, so you have fire pit, check mark number 1 from a jailhouse confession. Farm animals, I'm going to count that as a check mark because or not farm animals, horses, because he said horses to Barbara McDonald, which is actually on TV, on court TV. Okay, now we have box cutter, method of killing. Now you might be able to dispute that with me. I think I'm 90% sure the public didn't know because obviously police keep stuff like that in their back pocket. They don't let the public know, but when I do look up online, there is a lot of back and forth with that. But so we're going to use 1 check mark instead of 2. I normally would use 2 check marks because of the fact that I would use box cutter 1, method of killing, slicing their necks is 2, but I'm just going to give that 1, okay? So I have fire pit, big. That's way too random. Just burn your clothes, throw your clothes in the trash, fire pit. Box cutter, I'm going to keep that. I'm going to relate that to the method of killing, cut their throats. Telling the girls to come down and see the horses, okay? Told Barbara McDonald to come down and see the horses. Now we have check number 4, false alibi before a crime has been found out about. What? And you're saying because of DUI, but when you went to the transit station, the dumping station, you didn't make an alibi about that. You're still driving on a suspended license. Okay, so I have fire pit, box cutter, horses, false alibi. Okay, and then we have Ron Logan's property. Okay, so we have already a 5 check mark. Now, a 6th. 30 days for the investigation. Remodeled bathroom. And I can show you photos. He had a remodeled bathroom. Yep. I talked to Ron's ex-girlfriend. She is not happy with me. She's a sweetheart lady. Ron's ex-girlfriend is not happy with me. I am a very nice person. I was trying to get her on the show. I wouldn't have asked her too tough of questions. I would have asked her everything that News Nation asked her. Actually, a lot of things that she was going to tell News Nation, they chopped it up in their own narrative, which I found very funny. But she had texted me late last night that she was upset with me. She was very upset with me, but it was all the things that she told News Nation. So there wasn't any. She gave me a lot of different things that I can't discuss on here because I'm not allowed to because of her. But all I said was the News Nation stuff, and she still is very mad at me. I'm trying to work things out. We're actually trying to meet. I was going to take her to a nice, her favorite restaurant, but she's not happy with me right now. Ron Nugent knew Anna from the bar where she worked, Parisi. Ron even told Abby that he knew her mom. Oh boy, this is more great stuff, Steve. More great stuff. This Steve guy, I love this Steve guy. This guy rocks. There's a lot of good info. I haven't heard this good info. I know, and I love our channel because we have a lot of very smart people on this, but this is good stuff here. Ron had a huge, okay, what is this? Ron had a huge picture. Ron Logan had a huge picture facing the backside of the cemetery where you would be able to see anyone coming in February. Smart. I'd never heard that, Arias. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I don't know if you're a subscriber. That is another worthy picture text. So anytime I take a picture of the screen, it's because I'm in love with what you guys are saying. Let me take another picture. We got 2 pictures of the Steve Curry show. Steve is lights out. He might be related to Steph Curry with how many 3-pointers he's hit in here. This is good stuff. Goodness. Oh, my God. Criminal Network is in the house. Fig Fairy is in the house. Criminal Network, I got something for you, buddy. You are going to love this. I was just in Newport, California. Oh, my God. Criminal Network, you're going to love this. I work with someone that just got hired on board whose family lived right next to JonBenet Ramsey during the killings. And the girl's going to go on the show. Now, I don't know how much she knows, but we're going to bring her family on the show. I met her last Tuesday, and I was thinking of you. and I don't know the significance of it, but I'll definitely email you offline. I'm trying to get her on, and I'll tell you when she comes on, so maybe you can kind of pick her brain. I thought that was crazy. I'm like, what are the chances of meeting someone that lives next to JonBenet Ramsey's house? So yeah, crazy. I mean, it may not be anything, honestly, but I just was thinking of you. I'm like, what are the chances? Criminal Network sends me the blog on the 2 cases he's follow, and I'm talking to someone in the same sales class that lives next to JonBenet Ramsey. And I was just like, my mind was blown. It was crazy. So, yep, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh, of course. Thank you. Okay, let's see. I'm just trying to catch up with everybody here. Had drug shacks in the backyard. He ignored Carter. Always talked about a shack. Yeah. The whole meth connection too. Some doubt he's dead. When he was in jail with Nick McLean, if he was a prosecutor, he'd spring him in LA. Oh, that's pretty good, Eve. I didn't think of that. Okay, so sorry. Let's get back here. So we have Fire Pit. Oh, in Criminal Network, she's definitely getting on the show. I just was bothering her today, and she's like, "I'm so busy, Ted, but I promise." I'm like, no matter what you're getting on the show, you may know nothing, you may know a lot, but we definitely want her on the show. I just think it'd be too funny. So, okay, Fire Pit, box cutter, same as cutting the throw it and a box cutter. I'll keep that in the same check mark. The horses tied to Court TV and knowing the horses. False alibi. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 5. We have the bathroom remodel. We have 6, which, we don't know. I mean, I saw it as a bathroom remodel. I'm convinced, I don't know if anybody knows if Ron had any experience remodeling bathrooms or anything like that. But I'll definitely use that as a checkoff point. Cell phone pinging. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Cell phone pinging. He pinged around 2 o'clock, 2:30, then at 7:30, then around 10 o'clock. And I know there's only one cell phone tower in Delphi, but there's also the 911 emergency satellite tower that they pulled with. I was talking to one of my cousins who's in a tier 1 unit in the military, and the 911 can get it down to like 20 feet. But so the cell phone tower pinged this guy going back outside of his residence. Okay. So now we have 5, we have 6, we have 7. Okay. So we have 7. We have him saying down the hill, which was not inconsistent when the interview person asked him. So let's do that as a half mark. Okay. So we have 7.5. His ex-girlfriend, Connie, thought it was him, or thought it looked like Bridge Guy before she even knew it was about a murder trial. So knew it was the Bridge Guy, knew it was him. So now we have 8. So we have 8 strings here. Okay, sorry, just going through some of this. There is so much. We're going to go over. Yes, yep, I've watched Monster on the Mogan. Hey, Bezo Jones, what is up? Sorry, I was in California. Keith, what up? What up, Keith? What is up, everybody? Okay, so, let me take away my face so I can read this. Okay. Or no, this is bringing my face back. Yikes. Yeah, okay, so indicate the oldest one turned to help the youngest one. Logan told the inmate he grabbed the oldest one and got blood. He feared he got blood on his nose. A box cutter slit the oldest girl and her artery. The youngest girl was scared. He took her from him. For the trooper's notes and inmate's account. Okay, I got to switch as I can barely read this slide I put. Okay, how do I move myself out of this picture? Sorry, just give me 1 second. Is that a little better? Okay, perfect. The inmate told police. Okay, and also there was 2 confessionals. So there was Reese Davis, and then there was that Haas guy. And I know Reese Davis failed a polygraph test. I'm not exactly sure what they asked Reese Davis. I know polygraph tests are very, very sensitive. I know innocent people can actually not pass them. I don't know how they frame those questions, so I don't know that. But I'm going to keep reading. If anybody knows in the notes, yeah, of course the FBI was right. The FBI, exactly. Another great thing. Hydro. Go back. FBI has like a 95% conviction. I mean, I don't know if you guys follow the Little Dirk trial, but Little Dirk, is responsible for capital murder, and he's basically donezo. The inmate told police that Logan left and came back later that evening, which the cell phone pinged. And after the searchers were looking for the girls, Logan waited until late in the night and moved the oldest girl to an area not likely to be found. He burned his clothes, boots, gloves, and bag, according to the trooper's notes from the interview with the inmate. Ron Logan confessed, exculpates Mr. Allen, and would probably produce a different result at a retrial, the motion states, according to the court, which should vacate Mr. Allen's convictions. I find it funny, the detail about the clothes he burned, the boots he burned, the gloves he burned. I mean, he could have just said, yeah, I burned my clothes. But to have such specific details, that sounds like somebody that's older, right? And then to leave the cell phone, that sounds like an older man, like not good with technology, like leaves the phone, isn't smart enough to take the phone, or doesn't understand the consequences of the phone, doesn't realize he's even being recorded from the phone. I feel like that's like an older person thing. I mean, if I was murdering somebody, the first thing I would do was damage that phone and try to take the SIM card, break it, drown it in water, and do whatever I could to it. So, okay. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is really good. Yeah, Ricky is a good dude. Yep. Here is Eve. Okay, please remember to like and subscribe. Reese was set up to fail. He has Tourette's. Oh, I'm going to take a picture of that. I did not know that. I work with somebody with Tourette's. That is no joke. That is tough. They laughed at his speech troubles and made him angry during the test. If he has Tourette's, that's yikes. I did not know that. Another thing, too, is when they were talking about Odinism in the initial FBI report, they were saying it was just a bunch of sticks covering a body because it was near the Deer Creek. And again, I'm not against anybody that wants to hop on here and talk about Odinism. But what I'm trying to say is they were hiding tree branches and stuff to hide the crime. Reese offered to wear a wire, and they say, nah. Okay, another great thing when I build more of my stuff. Hold on one second. Let's see another picture. I love all this information you guys bring. Kathy Shank was miraculously discovered the tip that was later used to incriminate RA. So what's funny about that, and I'm going to get in a lot of shit right now, but Connie, Ron Logan's ex, said Kathy Shank is the biggest skank in town. She is a mattress back. So it's funny that they said that. They didn't like each other. Don't know how much that might help either case, but I thought I would share that. Okay, let's see what Steve Curry has to say. Reese said that Ron told him the sticks were put there to make it look like witchcraft. Oh, smart. Yep, I can definitely see that. Tree branches only cover 3% of the bodies. Yep. Okay. Someone plugged headphones into Libby's phone. Now we also know it could be water. After the defense expert testified at the trial about Libby's iPhone. Oh, let's make sure we can see some of this. After the defense testified at trial about Libby's iPhone, indicating that someone plugged in headphones into the jack between 5:44 p.m. and 10:32 p.m. on February 13, 2017, hours after the girls were dead, a state rebuttal witness Googled what might have caused that, then testified that might result in dirt or water damage might have caused that. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please like if you could. Okay, next one. The defense expert Stacey Eldred states in an affidavit that nothing from the data download from Libby's phone indicate any water damage. None of the police reports from the extraction of data from the phone indicated any dirt or water damage. If Miss Eldred's actual expert opinion that wired headphones were plugged into Libby's phone auxiliary port at 5:44 p.m. on February 13, 2017, and unplugged almost 5 hours later were credited by a jury. The state's narrative is impossible. Someone other than Richard Allen was handling Libby German's phone multiple times in an incoming text that also tied Ron. So I'm going to put another check there. Okay, so someone other than Richard Allen was handling Libby German's phone because Richard Allen wasn't even in the area. Phone multiple times long after the state contended Mr. Allen left the scene before 4 p.m. And February 13th, the motion states these matters considered individually or together entitled Allen to have the conviction vacated or have a hearing set on the matters according to the filing. As of Tuesday afternoon, Gull has not ruled out the motion. According to court records, Allen indicated after his conviction that he had plans to appeal his conviction. Okay, next. Okay, I think that's the. One second. last slide of that. Where did that salary go? Let me try to catch up. Used to defraud the country. Someone said Liggett and Kathy volunteered. Yep, Bezos, I agree with you. I Googled what a botch investigation looked like in the state of Indiana. Was the poster of it. That is too funny. That is too funny. Okay. Let's pull up the other thing I have. Okay, so we have okay, this is just on Carball. Let me go back to what else I have, what I put together today for everybody. I was out. I tried doing a live stream last night. We tried to get someone to come on live. I was so sick. I'm still very sick today. Let's see here. Okay, so the next slides we're going to pull up. So I have about like 8 check marks against Ron Logan. Which one did I have? The Sarah one, Logan warrant, case against. Okay, so then let's go to the case against. Let's go back into, let's take a little bit more deeper dive into Ron Logan. Oh, just to let everybody know, we are trying to support a 5K coming up in Delphi with free Richard Allen t-shirts. It's going to be in the spring. I'm going to try to do it in the city of Delphi, and we're going to end up going through the bridge area, and then we're going to end up ending by the court. We may probably, there's a good chance we wouldn't be allowed to do it in Delphi, so we're probably going to have to go to a neighboring town, but I'm just letting everybody know now. Hey, Franny Fran, what is up? Okay. Oh, sorry, you missed out all of our good stuff, Franny Fran. I apologize. Hopefully you can watch on replay. We had a lot of stuff on there. All right, so here we have is the Ron Logan and the case against him. Basically, I spoke to Connie Dillman, Ron Logan's ex, in multiple interviews. She said the bridge guy was responsible for the murders. I'm not telling you guys anything you guys really don't know here. They had a violent relationship. He was very aggressive. He was very abusive to her. She thinks he's definitely the killer. That was the first thing she thought. She stated that Logan, she had reported Logan to the police 4 or 5 times before the bridge guy video was even released. When she found out about the killings, out of 20,000 tips, no one thought it was Richard Allen. They thought, oh, yeah, you have to turn your notifications on. So when you get it, turn your notifications on. We just took a very deep dive in all the bullet points against Ron Logan. Connie Dillman isn't too happy with me right now, but we definitely had conversations with her. Out of 20,000 tips, Richard Allen did not leave town, did not get rid of the bullets, just went along his daily life for 5 years, downtown Delphi, working at that CVS. I mean, if you were a person that was a suspect of interest, I would get the hell out of town, and I'm sure most of the people in the chat would do. You wouldn't just hang around and wait. Yeah, over 150. Thank you, Bezo Jones. Over 150 people tipped Ron in. Okay, so the details of the false alibi. I think we already went over this. I don't want to keep going over the same thing. But the claim, Logan initially told investigators that a friend picked him up in the afternoon of February 13th and drove him to an aquarium store to go buy tropical fish. We know that was a lie. The feds typically get, 95% of the cases that are correct. They usually have like a 95% conviction rate. And Nicole Robertson, the special agent on the case, said, well, when somebody is giving a false alibi before a crime has been discovered, it is likely the person giving the false alibi is that's enough for a probable cause, and that's enough to throw somebody in prison. Oh, I did not know that. Kathy Shank manned the tip line and was buddies with Ron Logan, and she was a skank, according to Connie Dillman. So, is that funny? Wait, let's look at Steve. Connie Dillman told me that Ron Logan was left-handed, and it can be proven multiple ways. The bridge guy was left-handed, and also great point, Steve. And also how Ron Logan, if you look at his shoulders, right, when you get older and you don't see a chiropractor, how because of gravity, your one shoulder lifts. The way he walked with a limp. His waist, his hips. I had that in my other video. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Just hold tight, everyone. Let me see. If I go on my YouTube channel. All right, so we have all this other stuff. Judge Gull's daughter. I do love that left-handed thing. And his hand's in his pocket, too. You saw his one hand in his pocket. Okay, so just to recap for Fran, real quick, and I'll be real quick. Yep, vitamin C. I definitely need vitamin C. I'm still really sick. But so we have the fire pit. He talked to Reese Davis saying he burned the clothes in the fire pit. How he described the fire pit: boots, shirt, jacket, clothes. Steve Curry said you can see the fire pit on Google Earth. Okay, so we have the box cutter. We put another check. The box cutter was kept in the back pocket. How the girls died was kept in the back pocket, but I kept those in the same line. We have the false alibi. We have the ex-girlfriend thinking it was Ron Logan, abused, liked a 14-year-old girl. We had him telling Reese Davis, jailhouse confession, was mentioning about horses. Come on, girls, come see the horses. We have Barbara McDonald of Court TV, who had chills up her spine because he said, why don't you come see my horses? And he kept saying that. So we have a bunch of different things. We have the pinging of Ron Logan's phone 3 to 4 times during the murder, when the murder was at the same exact time of the bridge. We have the height of bridge guy. Another one, if you look online and they do like a heat map and they show that it's bridge guy. So we have a lot of different things. Okay. Hey, Reby. Yep. There is so much. So again, we're going to do a 5K run for Delphi. That's the goal. We want to do a run or a walk and have free Richard Allen t-shirts. Okay. So again, I think this is everything I already said. I think I kind of combined both these slides, but the search warrant revealed that Logan lied about his alibi. According to the document, Logan told investigators he had a friend pick him up on February 13th, 2 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. so he can go to the aquarium store in Lafayette. He contacted a family member, which was his cousin, on the morning of the 14th and instructed them to tell the police about the trip. He also asked a family member to say they returned home between 5 to 5:30. I had somebody actually say they couldn't even find the fish tank at his house. And he remodeled his bathroom. He had brand new plumbing. I mean, it looked like a bath fitters commercial. His entire house was hoarders. Investigators did not find a receipt of the store dated on the 13th with a checkout time of 5:21. Oh, did find a receipt. During March 6th of 2017, which was 31 days later, search related to a probation violation. It would take Logan 30 minutes to get to the store to his home, putting him at 5 to 5 p.m. In the town line, investigators believe Logan lied on his alibi statements that were found to be factually false and intentionally designed to deceive law enforcement efforts. Again, this is the affidavit that Nicole Robertson wrote. I know I've read this to everybody probably a billion times. So basically, it's her explanation of her finding. Nicole Robertson, a special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, had been employed for 12 years. Prior to the employment, she worked at the Salt Village of Illinois as a police officer for approximately 6 years. Nicole Robertson is assigned to the Maryville Residence Agency and currently participates in the investigation of all violent crimes. On the 13th, at approximately 1 p.m., juvenile victims hereafter referred to LG and AW were taken to the Monon High Trail and located in Delphi, Indiana. We're making the trail areas latitude, longitude, approximately 2:13, which was the time of the last contact, the Liberty German Abigail Williams cellular device. The victims were to be picked up by a family member at 3 p.m., and the victims never met with the family member. Approximately 5:30 p.m. was the last successful ping of the cellular phone by AT&T. The victims, LG and AW, were located deceased on February 14, 2017 at approximately 2:17 p.m. Law enforcement, victims. Let's go to the next page here. A suspect has developed a white male wearing a blue jacket, heavy physical build, wearing a cap and blue jeans. The development of the suspect was made by a 43-second video taken on LG's phone, where the suspect follows the victims as they're walking on the Moton High Trail. Near the end of the video, the suspect speaks to the victims, saying down the hill. It sounds that he's directing the victims to leave the trail they were and enter the wooded area. No person's come forward and identified himself. Actually, Richard Allen came forward and identified himself a couple days later, and his name got lost in the shuffle. But if you're that guilty, Richard Allen never had it go to law enforcement. They would have never found out who that guy was. Not one out of the 20,000 tips pointed at Richard Allen, and Richard Allen would be scot-free. Okay? So basically, this is just saying on approximately. Yeah. I think there is something to do with Keegan Klein. I don't know, with the CSAM file and like also the Dropbox. On February 14th at approximately 12:17 p.m., the victims, Liberty German and Abigail William, were found dead with wounds caused on the weapon on the property owned by Ron Logan. A large amount of blood was lost. Okay. There was DNA all over the scenes. There wasn't enough DNA to tie who killed the people, but there was enough DNA to exclude people. Still don't know why they wouldn't exclude Richard Allen. Still don't know why I don't think they tested Ron Logan's gun, which doesn't make any sense. He had the same exact gun. Because the nature of the victim's wounds, it's not certain the perpetrator of the crime would have gotten blood on his clothing, but he burned his clothing anyways. The location of the crime scene is approximately 1,400 feet from Logan's residence. Logan is a 77-year-old male. Logan's physical build is consistent with that of a male suspect videoed by Liberty German on the Monon High Trail. Logan owns a farmland and carried large farm animals. And here we go with talking about horses. Logan appears to be in good physical condition. Logan has been interviewed several times. His voice is not inconsistent with that of the person in the video. The jailhouse confession by Reese Davis, saying how he murdered the girls with the box cutter, how he cut their necks, told the girls about the farm animals. The court TV person was told about the farm animals, how he burned his boots, his coat, his jacket, how his cell phone pinged, and he has the false alibi. I mean, I don't know how many things, and he fixed the plumbing. 6, it was also discovered that one of the victims was missing from the crime scene while the rest of their clothing was recovered. Also appeared the girls' bodies were moved and staged. So, wait. One of the victims was missing from the it was discovered that the blank of one of the victims was missing from the crime scene while the rest of the clothing was recovered. So did he burn the other girl's clothing? It was appeared the girls' bodies were moved and staged. Based on my training and experience, it's common for perpetrators of this type of crime to take a souvenir or in some fashion memorialize a crime scene, whether by photos or electronic or digital methods, and then download it onto computer storage devices and tablets. LG and AW had no visible signs of a struggle or fight. During the processing of the crime scene, investigators located unknown fibers and unidentified hair, which may have later been used for comparisons of similar fibers. Logan owns numerous weapons, including handguns, knives, were observed by law enforcement officers. During the execution of a search warrant that took place at his home on March 6, 2017, Logan's home was searched as a result of a probation violation. So the search was very limited. Almost was like the Zodiac Killer was so limited. Of firearms and included only his main residence. On February 14th, 2017, at approximately 9:20 a.m., Logan contacted his cousin. Logan asked his cousin to tell police to say, hey, I'm sorry, to police that blank came to Logan's home between 2 to 2:30 p.m., very specific, the exact time of the crime, on February 13, 2017, to pick Logan up. Logan furthermore told blank to say that they drove Logan to an aquarium store in Lafayette. Logan told them to say they returned home to his house to 5 to 5:30 p.m., even though he went to the transfer station, did not have an alibi for that. I mean, we are on a roll today. We could keep going and keep going. Hold on. We have a text message from Bob Mata. I'm going to try my best to do tomorrow. Okay. Next. Property. A law enforcement officer. Okay, and I apologize for everyone that's probably heard this. Advised Logan that law enforcement officers would not search his home unless led law enforcement officers Logan home. In that meeting, Logan told the LEOs that he did not think the evidence, there we go. I did not think the evidence would lead them to him. But I don't know. Oh my God, people. People, please listen to me for a second. Oh my God. And thank you for sweet dude. She'd be. I could go on Oberg all day, all night. She tested, she chambered that round, and then she finally lost her mind and fired it. I could go on all night on that. Okay, so we're talking about a receipt from Aquarium World in Lafayette dated February 13th. Okay. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier in the podcast. This is what's crazy is I don't know. Can you imagine saying that? A law enforcement officer said that that he did not think the evidence would lead them to him, but he said, I don't know. Hey, I shot the neighbor. I didn't shoot the neighbor, but I'm not sure if the evidence is going to point to me if I shot him or not. So I'm not sure about that. I mean, makes me want to slap myself. March 16th, 30 days after, during an interview with law enforcement, Logan said he was picked up around 3 p.m. and taken straight to the aquarium store. In the March 6th interview, Logan said after he was done at the aquarium store, he was driven straight home. These statements found to be factually false and intentionally designed to deceive law enforcement officers. My question is, why did the FBI? Why was the FBI taken off this case, right? How did that happen? March 7, 2017, was interviewed by a law enforcement officer, told the law enforcement officer that he was with Logan on Monday, February 13th, and that Blank drove Logan to the aquarium store in Lafayette. On March 9, 2017, was an interview by another law enforcement officer regarding the trip to the aquarium. Blank told law enforcement officer that he had lied when he was interviewed by the LEO March 7th of 2017 at Logan's request. Explained that Logan had never asked him to lie for him in the past. So you never lie. So you never asked me to lie for you in the past, but the one time you asked me to lie is when there's 2 missing girls found on your property. Are you kidding me? There's 2 missing girls found on your property, and that's the one time that you're telling me to lie for you? If that is not, I mean, that's just crazy. Please, everyone, like, share, and subscribe. Real quick, I want everyone to know we are doing a 5K run and walk around Delphi. If they let us, I'm going to be talking to city officials next week. We'll do the town over. I'd like to finish the run right in front of the courthouse. So please like, share, and subscribe. Share this with everyone you know. Okay, so thank you all for joining us now. But, we went over basically everything to do with how many checks that Ron Logan had versus not checks. And we found out there's about 9 checks against him. Okay, 9 checks against him. So we're reading really quick his search warrant and his probable cause. Okay, so LEO, that he was with Logan on Monday, February 13th, and drove the Logan to the aquarium store. On March 9, 2017, was interviewed by another law enforcement officer regarding the trip to the aquarium, told the law officer that he had lied, but he never lied in the past. Well, he lied. The one time he lies is when he finds the girls dead on his property 1,400 feet away. That Logan had driven his vehicle while on probation, was as prohibited from doing so. Also said that Logan did not ask him to lie for when Logan drove to the transfer station earlier that day. Game, set, match. What else do you guys need to hear? What else do you guys need to know? You lied about one thing, but then you didn't need to lie about the other thing. And the first time you ever asked your cousin to lie is when there's 2 murdered girls on your property, and there's a man that's stuck in prison for 130 months or years in jail. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Okay, next slide. This is getting juicy, guys. So happy to see everybody. Jenny, what is up? Sorry about the last-minute notifications. Dirty Diana, Reby. We had a really good conversation. The first hour of the show, we really broke down a lot. So please watch it again on replay. But here, I'm going to read the rest. You guys probably heard this a million times. But again, Reese Davis, great person, jailhouse confession, had issues during the polygraph test because they were messing with him. He is another person that should not be convicted. We need to fight for him as well. 50 years in jail for a little small drug deal that was 1,000 feet, that was at his house, that was either close to a school or a church. I don't know how many of you guys have ever bought drugs or sold a little bit of marijuana who's been 1,000 feet away. I mean, I've heard of like peeing next to a school, right? You can be tried as a molester, peeing like on the property, okay? But you're 1,000 feet, you're in your own home, and you're doing 50 years in jail? I mean, that's the next case. We need to fight that to the death. That is the most unfair, ridiculous thing. I could think of 30 of my friends that have all bought drugs or sold drugs over the years, maybe a little dime bag here, which weed is legal now, maybe even, a party drug, and been 1,000, 2,000 feet away from a school and had no clue about this stupid stipulation, okay? At least educate the public about it. And then if it's at your own home, it's even crazier. But okay, so anyways, based on investigators' experience, it is reasonable to believe that the creation of an alibi prior to the discovery of a crime indicates culpability of knowledge of a crime. The feds have like a 98% conviction rate. Don't mess with the feds. The feds will get you every time. To say the feds are wrong is like lying under oath. It's the exact same way. The feds don't bosh investigations, okay? It's very black and white with the feds. They get enough data. That data they comprise is meant to put you away for a long time. This Jerry Holman joker and all these other stooges, Gull, and all these other freaks of nature, they're not the feds. They didn't do the schooling. They didn't do the time. I'm not knocking people that are detectives. I'm not knocking people that are part of police forces. I have a lot of respect for the police. But when the feds got you, the feds got you. Game, set, match. It doesn't matter if you're Suge Knight of Death Row Records, Keefe D with the Tupac killing, Little Dirk. If the Federal Bureau of Investigation is on your ass, you're done, okay? And they were on Ron Logan's ass. Excuse my French. Yes, we're definitely going to be, yeah, FBA had his height and everything. Yeah, we're definitely going to be going over Reese Davis's story. We got to get him out of jail. There's no way a guy 50 years, especially for him talking about the jailhouse confession, giving us more data to free these little girls, okay? Showing what the justice is, okay? We are not talking about El Chapo, folks. We are not talking about Ryan Wedding, the Canadian skier that had 20,000 pounds of, cocaine and is driving across state lines with fentanyl. We're talking about a minimal amount of drugs and putting someone away for 50 years over some stupid stipulation, okay? Okay, put him in jail. Put him in jail for a year. Let him do house arrest. Let him do community service. Don't put someone's life, okay? Okay, so back onto it. Sorry, I'm going crazy here. I had an album titled Al-Qaeda in 2016. The FBI showed up. Yeah, I bet. The feds just dropped charges. Okay, sorry, guys. I'm zoomed in so I can barely read the screen here. Logan did not ask to provide an alibi for his drive to the transfer station. Logan only asked to provide it for the trip that would have occurred during the time of the abduction of Libby and Abby. On March 8, 2017, was interviewed by law enforcement about 7 or 8 years ago, was in personal relationship with Logan for a couple months and would stay with him in his home on weekends. Blank left Logan after he became physically abusive. And Connie's really pissed at me right now. So if she's on here, I'm sorry. I really did nothing wrong. She said it was him during the interview, explained that Logan continued to stalk and harass her after the breakup. During the relationship, Logan had dragged her out of her car by her hair. She still fears about Logan, had not contacted him in approximately 2 years, told investigators that Logan had told her that he could kill her and no one would find her body. Okay, and then on March 8th, Logan carried a gun everywhere he went, knew that Logan would carry a gun in a fanny pack, which is the same fanny pack on the bridge. Did you guys not see the bridge? It was definitely a fanny pack. Described Logan's fanny pack made out of nicer material. During her March 8th, 2017 interview, Blank told law enforcement when she first saw the photograph of a man on the bridge, she thought the police were looking for Logan because she thought the photograph was Logan. Did not initially realize the photograph was that of the suspect. She was like, oh, Ron Logan's on the bridge. It would be like, hey, there's my dad going on TV. Oh, hey, what is my dad doing at Pizza Hut? Not Pizza Hut. I'm insulting him. He likes really good, being Italian, he likes good pizza. So let's just say, what is my dad doing at Giordano's? He killed somebody. Okay, that makes sense why he's on the news. A call placed using Logan's cell phone then predicted a cell phone tower. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna back out of this 1 second so we can get other people's comments. I am sicker than a dog, so I apologize. Look at all these wonderful comments. The FBI height was a few inches shorter, but it was because it was different if you're standing straight versus walking. Exactly. DD, I'll take one for the team. I'll be fresh meat. Dirty Diana, what is up? Love everybody in the chat here. Okay, I'm going to keep reading. Game, set, match. There we go. Here's our really friend, Crystal. We love Crystal. Hopefully we can get Crystal on one day. She is a pro at everything. She has helped organize this together. She has really inspired me to take the next step into our fight for Ron Logan, but I'm also fighting for Reese Davis. I think that's complete BS. Okay. Oh, wait. Let's see what Dirty Deanna said. Yep, clean pee test and no drugs. See, I forgot. You told me that. I mean, if that's not, oh my God, doesn't that, You get one life, right? We're all born into this world, right? We all are born in this world, and there's innocent people behind bars, and they don't have freedom, and they'll never have freedom. Think of that. They're just sitting there with no freedom. I mean, it's ridiculous. Yep, exactly. The feds drop charges if they think they're lose. I think there's some kind of conspiracy, love it, but they love their chomos. Yeah, they definitely do. Okay, I'm just catching up with everybody's comments real quick. Please like and subscribe. We need, every time I do one of these, I get 1 subscriber or I get like 10 likes. Please, if you can, I don't want to be that channel that says ever like donate or anything like that or become a member. I'm not like Gray Hughes. I just think that's in poor taste. People, times are tough. If times are tough for people, definitely don't donate to me. I'm doing this because I'm using my own company's money to free Richard Allen. But if you want to like and subscribe, that helps me significantly because, as you know, the more people that like and subscribe, I make a little bit money on revenue of watching this. And then that could go towards Richard Allen. So please at least subscribe. Yeah, bingo. Mic drop, criminal network. FBI stated the person on the bridge was that's all you need to hear. I mean, if my father thought I was murdering somebody or killing somebody and the FBI went to him and my dad's got a master's degree in psychology, my dad would be like, it's definitely you. Like, it wouldn't be like if I was trying to defend myself over the Federal Bureau of Investigation, I would have it'd be like trying to climb Mount Everest and he would not believe me. Okay. Love everybody on here. Free Reese Davis. We're definitely going to have to do another thing on Reese Davis. I think that is another gigantic thing that's been overlooked too. Okay, 1 second. Let me just finish reading this. If I can read. Okay. On March 14, 2017, Blake explained in an interview that he'd been violent with her in the past. Wait, did I already read this? Okay, so on February 13, 2017, LG's family began searching the area of the trail. LG and AW were initially dropped off at the beginning shortly after 3 p.m. Logan's family and other community members joined the search shortly after. Carroll County Sheriff's Officer were notified approximately 5:30 p.m. Hold on, we got. Okay, 3 p.m. Family and other community members joined in the search. Carroll County's office was notified at approximately 5:30 that LG and AW were missing. Once the search for LG and AW began, no one reported seeing any person matching the description of the male on the bridge. The FBI has established a database for the collection and organization of the tips provided by the public in the case. A Scorch's database has revealed that 15 tips in which citizens, both known and anonymous, attributed the crime to Logan. Bam. FBI documentation. Game, set, match. Please, only 4 more to 50 likes. Try your best. Wait, maybe 3 more if I like it. Based on the above affirmation facts, Logan was in the area at the time the crime is confirmed and that he provided false information of his activities. I mean, come on. I mean, public think we're stupid? The crime to law enforcement has prior prosperity for violence, employed others to assist in deceiving law enforcement and plotting an alibi for a crime that has not been yet discovered. I mean, right there, game, set, match. Information to be searched. We'll go real quick on this. Based on the facts, I believe there is probable cause to believe that Ron Logan has committed the crime of murder and evidence that can be found on Ron Logan's property. The FBI just doesn't say that to say this. The request of the warrant to search Ron Logan's entire property, described as a white 2-story single-family dwelling, included a detached garage, outbound buildings and vehicles, a white F-250 bearing his VIN license plate for the evidence, any and all evidence pertaining to murder, including clothing, forensic evidence, blood, seen or unseen, where they got to spray that blue stuff to show if there's any blood or not, for blood you can't see, hair, bodily fluids, fibers, weapons, including guns, cutting instruments, electronic devices used to produce the cellular signals detected by law enforcement in the area of the crime scene, computers and computer equipment, digital storage devices, tapes, cassettes, cartridges, streaming tapes, commercial software and hardware, computer disks, flash drives, disk drives, monitors, computers, printers, modems, tape drives, disk applications. Man, this is a tongue twister. Let's see how long until I stutter. Programs, data disks, system disks, operating systems, magnetic media, floppy disks, computer software, hardware, software operating materials, tape systems. I might be stuttering here. Hardware, drive, and other computer-related operation equipment, digital cameras. This is like way too much to read. Scanners, in addition to, I think it got me. I can't read that one. Photographs, graphic. You got me. Okay, let's see the next slide here. Okay, graphic, interchanging and equipment and data within material. Records, documents, writings, and corresponding information from the true crime scene. Wait, everybody, this is Bob Mata again. Come on, Bob, let's show it. I can't keep telling everybody that the show's going to happen. I understand he's at like this major court case. So let's see. We need one more like for 50, everybody, please. One second. Okay. I'm glad everybody's been nice to you. Some call that a nano dick. Oops, excuse my French. I did not realize that was going to say that. All right, signed by Nicole Robertson. Okay, next stuff we have going on. Where am I at here? Okay. All right, so we have, that's the slide basically by the FBI saying she signed it, Nicole Robertson. Holy cow, we just hit the 50. No way. Free Richard Allen. I'm glad everybody's been very nice. Okay, let's see what else I got here. Give me 1 second. What do we got on our good friend? So what does everybody think about Brad Holder, Keegan Kline, and the CSAM Dropbox? Is that all BS? Wait. Oh, wait. Spencer's court case. Oh, okay. I was wondering, that's why he's texting me all of a sudden. I honestly, guys, it probably won't be tomorrow. There's no way with how the weather is. Hi, Nicole. YouTube. Yes, please become a member. I think it's like 99 cents. It might even be, well, if it's $1.99, I'm sorry. I meant to make it 99 cents. I can always switch it up. Does anybody have any emojis they could like put? Anybody that's a member like put on an emoji? I'm just curious to see what it looks like. I tried to create it. I paid some like weird service to make an emoji. Okay, here's Bezo Jones. This is good. KK lured the girls to the bridge, and Ron and BG LAM convinced of those two things, but both are in the convention saying there was a third guy. Elvis Fields. Yeah, we went over Elvis Fields yesterday. Let me see if we could pull up some Elvis Fields stuff. All right. Rick, Ron, Bridge Guy, Dark, Teddy's. Okay, hold on 1 second, everybody. What else? Where is Elvis Fields? Is one of he is a scary looking individual, and I don't like to pass judgment at anybody. But this guy, let's see Elvis Fields. I mean, this is the guy that said there was like spit on the girl. Remember that? He's like, yeah, they're probably going to find my spit on her. This guy's a nut. All right, let's see. Elvis Fields, Delphi. He's definitely not Elvis Presley. Let's put it that way. Holy cow, is he a freaky looking? I'm sorry, Elvis. I don't mean to be mean, but holy cow. Well, I guess whatever. You're kind of born with what you're born with. All right, we're going to show Elvis Fields. We're going to briefly go over Elvis Fields really quick. And I don't mean to badmouth Elvis Fields. Let's see what our Kelsey changed her story so many times. She was messaging with Keegan, deleting stuff from Libby's Facebook, washed her boyfriend's truck, and was at Bree's house within walking to the distance. I know in my bones he's involved. That clip was horrifying. I never, what is this one by Fig? I will never unsee the way, hold on, this is good. I will never unsee the way Brad Holder's face looked when he said I did not kill those girls in that Hulu clip. Yeah, I'm going to have to watch that this evening. Ron had a locker room. He didn't let his ex in. I remember hearing that years back. Ron Logan did this alone. I'm kind of siding with Steve here. Ron did this alone. Even Barbara McDonald said that Ron wouldn't consider it weak to do it with someone else. Yep. I'm kind of on the Steve bandwagon. Oh, okay. That's okay. Then I shouldn't make fun of someone disabled. That's why he looks that way. I'm sorry. I actually have a disabled cousin. Brad Holder's definitely a creep. All right. Must see. Ron could be the lookout guy for Elvis. EF was in the Special Olympics. I really would love to see. Hey, does anybody want to call in here? I'm going to give you the call-in thing. If anybody would like to call in, I have a horrific cold, so I'm at the end of the rope with what I was talking about. I'm not trying to be mean. I just don't know how much longer I can be on. I apologize. I have a horrible sore throat. Did too much drinking in Newport Beach. Ron and KK both said there was a third guy. Interesting. There's a link if anybody wants to hop on and give their take on anything. Let me know. Oh. Okay. If anybody wants to jump on, let me know. Let me see what else I got in my Dropbox. I have so many things I created. I'm just kind of running out of steam, guys. I'm sorry. It's been a tough couple days with this cold. I know I sound kind of wimpy, but we're only an hour 17 on. I like to do that 2-hour mark. That way we can get more donations for Richard Allen. Because when you get that 2-hour mark, you see it seems to, you at least could get like $20, so it'll pay a little bit more. When you're like under an hour for some reason, even if there's a lot of views, it kind of prevents you. But I don't know if I can do this for another 50 minutes. I tried to put together a lot of stuff. So Sarah, we did the Logan warrant. We did the case on Ron Logan. Last night we did Idaho 4, but I was exhausted. What is this? Holman saying Elvis couldn't have done it because he has mental health capacity of an 8-year-old. There's no science. RL was never into autism. Way too many signatures to point, at least at the knowledge of paganism. Yeah, I agree. Okay, does anybody want to hop on and give me their take on either Brad Holder, paganism? I'm trying to think. We have Patrick Westfall, the Fiora fires. Anything on Holman? Ron Logan had a party at his house this week and maybe Oganism. Let's see what Bezos said. Oh, Shea Watson's on. What is up? Where do you want donations sent? Oh, I just through a super chat if you want, or through or just subscribe or like the channel. I mean, I definitely never want to ask people for donations, but a super chat helps. But I actually hope you get to see the show. I mean, there was a lot of good context, a lot of good dialect from a lot of our viewers for the hour 19 minutes. So please watch it in replay if this was the first time you're doing it. Westfall, I lived across the street. No way, you lived across the street from the Flora fires? That is awesome. Guys, everybody. Yeah, so for everybody new, we are going to put the money into a 5K fund where we're going to run to free Richard Allen, and we're going to try to do it around Delphi and end at the courthouse. I'm going to be figuring that out next week, but we're super excited. Do you have Liberty selfie in Kelsey's car before drop-off? Yes, sir. Yes, please, everybody join us for this jog. Or walk, if jogging isn't really up to your standards, we can always walk. If you have PayPal or something, you don't lose 30%. I do have Buy Me a Coffee. Here, wait, let me try Buy Me a Coffee. I hate asking for donations, though. It makes me, feel weird. Let me see if I can get my Buy Me a Coffee link. I know that doesn't take anything. I don't know how to go to. So if you go to Ted Investigates, oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Franny Fran. Yep, I'll definitely rest here. So if you want to go to Ted Investigates, or I don't know how to. There's something. Buy Me a Coffee. If you go to Ted Investigates, let me see if I can copy the link, and I'll try to put it in the chat. I have no clue how to do this. Hold on a second. Okay, let me put it on here. You need a PayPal. I do have PayPal. I just wait. Let me see. I just hate being like that, person that's asking for money through PayPal. So hold on. I don't know. Let me try to sign in. I don't know. I never did this to ask people for money, is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Okay, perfect. So for now, okay, yep. Thank you so much, Shay. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate it. In the future we'll get PayPal or something. I just, I'm not doing this to take someone's money, but I didn't realize, you do lose 30%. So that 30% could be more money for Richard Allen and for getting things off the ground. All right, well, everybody, you have a good rest of the week. Thank you, Shay. We really appreciate the super chat. That was awesome. Thank you, Franny Fran. I appreciate the super chat as well. And we'll get everything else. Oh, yeah. We're going to do the Anthony shots on the next video. We'll definitely do the Anthony shots in the next video, and we'll see how that goes. My channel's going to accept EBT. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. You guys have a nice rest of the weekend. Great energy today. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you, Dirty Deanna. I'm sure we'll be texting. You guys take care. Bye-bye. Thank you. My $9.99. Thank you. No. You're a channel member too, so that helps. We love having you a member, Franny Fran. Please, thank you so much.